Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at SEI, double checking a few key factors here. I got a couple of alerts triggered overnight on this one, so we're just going to reevaluate and kind of see if it's worthwhile taking a trade. I know I was waiting for a break above this local resistance, about 50 cents as a close approximate. Obviously, we tried to retest that previously, but failed to hold, and now we're right back where we left off a few days ago. So it's really cool to see, but also want to be careful not to take a late long as well. Let's make sure our return on investment would be sound if we're considering a trade of this coin. So let's start with the Backend Data. I'm pretty sure we can pull that up here with our heat map here. Let's go ahead and double check and see if SEI is an option. There it is, of course. Let's go ahead and take a look at that first. And then, once we identify a little bit more about, back-end liquidation data, we can go from there. And if you could do me a favor, help grow the channel. Hit the like button, comment below. Either one would work great. Absolutely helps helps the algorithm. I appreciate it, and everyone else would appreciate it too, because they get the chance of having a fighting chance at being a better trader instead of just following all these other moon boys that are telling you everything's going straight up. While that's true right now for the most part, a lot of altcoins are really surging well. We got to be mindful and just conscientious of our behavior and our risk tolerance. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about the liquidation delta first. We can see that the momentum has obviously shifted ever since we broke free from this local high, this range about 50, 51 cents. We can see more longs than shorts in the market. I like to see that because that's exactly the way it should be when you break through a key level resistance. Same thing here as well. We can see liquidation at 55 to 56 cents. Pretty heavy. In fact, upwards of 60. If you kind of add this all together, that's probably about $1 to $1.5 billion is my guess, as a rough estimate, between here and 60 cents. Again, that's just spitball, of course, but the consensus there is accurate in the sense that we're seeing more potential for further upside because a lot of people are trying to short this coin, and it's just generally not favorable to short into an overextended coin just because it's overextended. It really means very little in the market right now. And honestly, the way that Bitcoin's behaving, it's starting to kind of build its base at 90, 91K again. There's a solid chance we could see some coins continue higher. But again, this coin's pretty well on the overextended side for the daily, so we got to recognize that and not be, blindly bullish either. So let's look at the macro here. Daily time frame, quickly to understand, 44, 45 cents is that local point of control. That's good. It's generally something we want to consider and understand that, hey, we got a lot of support there. The price comes back to that range. We're seeing a good potential for a bounce, right? Furthermore, too, when we look at some indicators here, we're getting closer to 70 on the RSI. We break free from that, we could see this coin continue to run. Stochastics pulling back with money flow index trailing behind. That's actually a good sign. When we see MFI increasing, that's important. Also, this large amount of volume, specifically this much volume on a weekend, that is less common, but also very awesome too. In other words, that really increases the sustainability of this coin. I also have kind of like an ascending type of trend line, basically a resistance trend line, that kind of shows that we've broken free from that. So hypothetically, in a perfect world, the price will come back down to retest that and continue higher. Okay, it's generally construed as a break of resistance and a new support level. Okay, so we can kind of see that here too. If we do draw this out here, we can see it's retested that level a couple of times, and now it's broken free, hypothetically, to work as a support level moving forward. So we'll go ahead and just highlight that there, and then double check a few things. I'll clean up the chart, by the way, post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. It looks a little something like this, where I kind of give you insight on all the coins that I cover, and just kind of give you a bumper sticker version of what's going on, what it looks like on the back end too. Okay. Of course, last but not least, check out our price pool here, progressive price pool with Bitunix. Phenomenal exchange, link down below for these guys. I tell you what, if you use this exchange, you're gonna love them. There's no KYC or VPN as well. It's been a community favorite for over a year now. They've been treating our community very well. So awesome stuff. Check that out. Sidebar, apologize. Let's get back on track here. Daily time frame, super, super awesome. Let's recognize the moving averages all below the price action. Generally construed as a very favorable sign. Granted, that's a pretty far distance away to the current moving averages, but they're below the pricing action. That's the important thing. But that does imply that this coin could pull back. So we lose this 50 to 51 cent range. There's a solid chance we could continue to see it run to the downside, pending Bitcoin doesn't run as well. I think if Bitcoin can maintain the 90K range, solid chance we're going to see this continue higher. So in fact, we've already seen the price action come back down to retest this 50 cent range, which is awesome. Let's quickly double check a couple of things here too. First of all, there's a fair value gap as low as 47 cents. So hypothetically, the price pulls back, could very well fill that. We can also recognize here too that we're under 50 on the RSI, under 70 on the RSI, over 50. That's construed as a very, very good sign. Same thing as well with stochastic RSI. It's kind of swinging down, letting us know that, hey, we've been on a pretty strong push here, but the likelihood of sustaining this price action is pretty high. We look at daily sequential though, we're at an 8 so far. So we either need to consolidate or retrace before the next leg up to give it validity, so to speak. So if the price does end up pulling back, these local areas of these local highs will be a good consideration. 49.50 and 51 cents, just kind of as some round numbers for you. Again, generally speaking, adding to this little area here would make sense because the likelihood of the price bouncing from here is higher now that we've broken 3 from this area and swept a majority of that liquidation. Okay, so again, 4-hour time frame, generally looking very favorable here. Okay, I'll draw out a trend line and clean this up. Of course, post that here shortly, but that is something we want to pay attention to. We also want to recognize in the hourly that we are getting all green lights to take a long position. So at this point, looking pretty darn strong. The overall sentiment is likely to continue higher from here, just based on what we see here so far. Once more, you do got to treat this with respect. And what I mean by that is I would say an invalidation of a long would be a closure in the 50 to 51 cent range or lower. Okay, so heaven forbid, you don't get what you want out of the trade pulls back, it starts kind of doing one of these. You may want to cut your losses before the price goes too far, because there is a bit of even though there's a decent amount of support, there's still a large margin for error because this coin has a pretty high amount of movement, if you will. It's moving fast in a short period of time. So that does imply it could move down on you too as well. So low leverage, low position size is always the recommended consideration for any market. I don't care if you're bullish or bearish market. You want to protect your investment. Okay, so if you're tired of hitting the old reset button on your account, maybe consider joining our Trading Academy community or signals group. That's all provided down below if you're curious. But I do essentially like to teach people how to trade. And we can go from there. But either way, I'd look forward to work with you no matter how it works out. And thanks again for being an awesome part of my life. Don't forget to like the video, comment below. And once more, check out our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I'll be posting a playout chart here shortly. All right, folks, have a great rest of the day. We look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.